Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for this session. Today, I would like to share some key features on Dualog Drive, why Dualog Drive is made for the maritime industry, and how Drive can help your organization streamline the collection and distribution of large files between ship and shore. So let's begin. Now, I would like to take you on a practical journey on the apps platform, where I will show you how you can manage your organization, ships, and offices, and most importantly, how to monitor your file distribution using Dualog Drive. First, we will look at the organization section. In the first section here, you will see the list of users. There are three types of users. You have the owner, member, and the reader. The owners can configure everything in the organization, whereas the member can only configure Dualog services. And lastly, reader have only view access. In the next section, you will see the ships. Here you can easily add, delete, or rename your ships. By clicking on Add Ships, you can create a ship from scratch, or you can copy a ship from another setup. That way you will save some time from creating from scratch. In the next section, you will see ship codes. Some organizations or applications require ship codes or abbreviations of the ship name for their file distribution. In my example here, my PMS application requires ship codes to generate the output files in the specified folder. So instead of creating ship names as folders, Dualog Drive will create the folders with ship codes. And here you can see all my ships have their own abbreviation or codes. Next, we have ship groups. And this is a very important feature for you to organize your fleet. Here you can easily organize your ships based on ship types, owners if you're a ship manager, or where the ships are trading or managed from. Ship groups can help users to simplify the creation and distribution of files using Dualog Drive. In the next section, you will see ship carrier. And this is a very important feature as well, as you know most ships have a backup carrier, and typically this is a pay-per-use service. If there are important files that require to be distributed to the ships, you can allow the Drive task to send over the backup carrier. To read more about this, you can click on the link here and it will describe to you how you can configure it on your firewall. Next, we have offices. This will be the site where the drive will be distributed from or collected from the ships. You will need one office in order for Drive to work. You can also create office groups as well. In my example here, I have groups in Asia and also in Europe. On the right-hand side of the interface, you will see the status of your offices and ships. As you can see, one of my ships, Empty Sarah, has been offline for the past 16 hours, and I can see that my office and my ships are online. This quick overview helps the customer to know what is the current status of the fleet. Next, let's move on to installation. In this interface, you will have a complete overview of all your offices and ships, and which ships are up to date, which ships are online. And here you can actually push updates directly to the clients. As you can see, 3 of my clients here are outdated. So by just clicking of a button here, update, I'll be able to push the updates to the ships automatically without any human intervention. Once the update is done, it will reflect on this page that the client is up to date. As of this client, it is currently queued for update because it's currently offline. So next, let's proceed to Drive. This is the activity monitor page. Here you'll be able to monitor all the ongoing and the completed tasks. This page gives you an overview of the source, destination, and the files that are synced or moved from the client. Here I'll be able to filter based on the following criteria. Download status will be based on the download if it's ongoing, completed, or if there's an error. Source type, if it's from an office or a ship. Task name is the file distribution task that you have created. Task type is the method of how the files are distributed. Here you can have the option to filter to tasks that are only syncing or moving. Source name is the client name, and update status will filter if the Drive client have uploaded the files to the cloud successfully. Let me show you an example. So add a filter here. I'll choose a task type, which is move. So we look at the third row here. The office is sending software updates, and we are moving files from the office to the ships. The date and the size is 18 megabytes, and it has been uploaded successfully to the cloud and downloaded to all the three clients. So here we can see the files, what is sent to the ships. You also be able to see the destinations, which ships have downloaded it. Next is task configuration. In this interface, you will have an overview of how Dualog Drive is configured on both ends. As you can see, Dualog Drive is installed in the office and is looking into this folder. So whenever there is a file or a folder that is placed here, Dualog Drive will pick it up and send it to the client. We have advanced options as well, where you can set a delay before the file is picked up by Dualog Drive, and you're able to also specify file mask. We have an option to back up the file to another folder after sending the files to the client. Next, we have move file, and this is where you specify the destination. Who would you like to send it to? In my configuration here, I have set it up to all ships. You will be also able to choose individual ships as well. And as for my path, my directory, I have chosen the same as the office, which is C software updates. You'll be able to override the path in the case if the ship is not having enough space on the C drive. You can change it to D drive and override the default path. Alternatively, you can also use a UNC path. So here I will put from office and then file, and this interface will appear and you'll be able to put in your credentials. Next, we have how we handle existing file names. By default, we choose to override it, but you can also choose to rename the file if there is the same existing file name. Next, we have bandwidth control, and this is the part where we have configured in the organization. You can choose to allow certain files or tasks to be sent on certain carriers. Here you can specify if I want to only send this software updates over 4G. And lastly, we have drive task name. This is where you specify or describe the move task that you have configured. In the next interface or the next step is configurations. Here you will see all the drive tasks that you have configured for your organization. Um, Clicking on the task here, you'll be able to configure, which brings you back to the previous interface where you can configure your task. You can pause your task or you can delete it. And it also gives you a summary of how the task is created. On the next tab here, you will see installations, and these are all the installed clients or drive clients in your organization. You have an overview of the operating system. You will see the version and the installation date, and also the drive name and the status if the ship is online or offline. And if you click on these three dots, you'll be able to either remove the installation or You'll be able to see the task that is configured for this client. And lastly, you'll be able to manage the installation. This will bring you to the interface to tell you more about the setup. Here you'll be able to see all the drive tasks and you will be able to edit the installation name or remove the installation. On the last tab, we have status. Um, this is a new feature that we just released, and there'll be more new features releasing in a couple of weeks. This page will give you a better overview of a drive activity fleet-wide. It allows you to also inspect your sync folders. Share view allows you to share your drive activity to other people. We will give you a public link, and your colleague or from someone from another department is able to see and monitor the drive activity. Permanent blocks give you alerts or notification to tell you if there are issues with your drive configuration. And lastly, it's cleaner and it's easier to navigate. Let's check it out. The first thing that you will see on the status page is the sync status. Here you will know whether the folders are all up to date. As of now, there are two folders that are not up to date for all the ships that I'm trying to sync the documents to. On the right hand side, you will see the move activity. Here you will see the total transfers you have on move per day for the last week. At the bottom, you will see the three sync tasks that I've created. For the first task here, safety documents from office, I can see it's still syncing to the ships. Um, for the CMS from ships, these are all completed. And for purchasing department, it is currently on pause. And if I click on safety document from office, I can see an overview and the current structure of the folder and files. As I can see here, this is the files that were removed, and you can see the files were actually moved here from the main root directory. And I'll be able to drill down and see what files are actually on board the ships. On the Besides that, we have this feature called version history. This is currently on development, but it will release very, very shortly. What we will show you is actually the summary of all the changes that is done. And here you'll be able to also search for a particular file or folder. On the right hand side, you will see the task destination. As you can see now, empty Sarah is currently offline, so she's on version 15 and is syncing to version 17. You'll be able to see the progress as well. And as for the two ships that I have here, they are both up to date to the latest version, which is version 17. Next, we'll go to move. Um, you will see that these are the tasks that recently have all the three tasks that I have here for PMS, two ship, two office. At the moment, there are no activities. If there is an ongoing transfer, you'll be able to see this on this interface. And if you were to click on this, you'll be able to see the view completed activity. At the moment, this is also currently under development, but when you click on this, it will bring you to an interface where it will give you a full overview of everything regards to that transfer for the files and also the time and date and also the size. You will also be able to pause tasks directly from this interface. For the next session, my colleague will share a little bit more about ShareView, and that is currently not in the status page because it's currently in development. But he will give you a sneak peek of how it looks like in future and how you can actually share this interface with your colleagues in the department.
New concept called the share view. Share view is a concept that came out of our user tests where we discovered that the main users of Drive are actually not the IT department that has access to the Dualog portal. So the problem there is that you have, for instance, the safety department is waiting for a file from the captain, but they don't know if the captain has sent the file yet or whether it has finished transferring. So they have to reach out to the IT department and say, hey, can you tell us whether the captain has started transferring this file? Or can you tell us when we are going to receive this file? How many percent has been downloaded, etc. So all of a sudden you have the IT guy becoming uh, the person everyone goes to know the status of the files they are transferring. So we came up with this concept that is based on, for instance, how you track your packages with DHL, where you can go to a website and see where the package is when it's estimated to arrive at your post office or at your home, and you get a full overview of the packet. Without that, you wouldn't know if the packet has been sent, or whether uh, when you can expect it to be delivered. So the concept that we created is what we call share views. So share view, you can basically create a share view per task. So here you can create a share view for HSQE2 vessels, this task. You can set a password on it if you want. And once you create the share view, uh, you get a link to it. And this link can be shared with anyone. So either they just access the link, it's a unique link, or they also have to have a password to access it if you want that kind of security. So immediately when anyone goes to this link, they get an overview of all the ongoing and recently completed transfers for the task. So here I can easily see that there are three files waiting to be sent. Or sorry, there are two files sending and one waiting to be sent. So if I was responsible for this task, I could easily see that I've received the files from all the ships except these three ships, because this one is still transferring, this one is still transferring, and the last one is still waiting for internet on the ship. So at that point, I could go to the IT department and say that, hey, I'm not getting these files from this ship. It's still not online. Can you help me fix that? While I would have a full overview knowing that all the others have sent the files that I need. I can also look at the recently completed files and easily see that I've received the files I'm supposed to receive. The other part for the share views is the sync tasks. So it's the same story here. You have access to see everything we went through earlier. You can see the folder structure. You can go back in the history here to look at what the history looked like. Sorry. And you can also see the status of all the files. So a great example here and use case is safety documents. If you have a safety folder that is replicated to all the ships, you want to make sure that all the recent changes you do gets replicated to all the ships. So this is a very good way for the safety department to have an overview of the status of files.
Thank you everyone for joining me for this short session on Dualog Drive. I hope it gives you a good understanding on how Dualog Drive can help you and your organization to distribute and collect files efficiently. If you are interested to start using Dualog Drive, we have created a webinar which gives a detailed walkthrough of Drive and the app's portal. My colleagues will guide you how to sign up, install, and start using Dualog Drive. Feel free to reach us if you're interested. Thank you and have a nice day.